Hello, Reading 8th graders. How are you today? Hope everyone is doing well. Looking forward to spending another couple of minutes with you reviewing what we are going to do in our English Language Arts class today. I am especially excited to let you know that we are going to begin using the poetry that we have been studying for the last couple of lessons. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to proceed with lesson number 32, Poetry in Our World. And with that lesson today, we are going to jump into finding evidence to support responses and to support our own thinking. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to review our Unit 1 Essential Question using poetry. We are going to identify figurative language from poems and how it supports the overall text meaning from each poem. And we are going to record textual evidence from poetry we read using an evidence log. So we've got a lot to do. At the end of the lesson today, you should be able to identify key figurative language from each poem that we read. We are going to collect evidence, so you should have that evidence written from poems to respond to essential question for Unit 1 poetry, and you should record evidence or type it in using an evidence log, the details from the poems that will support your response for the essential question for Unit 1. So, let's get started. Very quickly, ladies and gentlemen, you will be reviewing with your teacher the figurative devices. You will be reviewing metaphors, similes, allusions, personification, and imagery. You will, ladies and gentlemen, go through each of the poems that you studied in the last few lessons, including Oranges, Translating Grandfather's House, and Hanging Fire. You will find a link to each of those poems in your slideshow, and your teacher will guide you there. And you can also find these poems, or at least two of them, in your textbook. We will be looking for imagery, simile, metaphor, personification, and allusion as we go through these. We will also pay careful attention to rhyme and repetition. How does poetry help create thoughts and ideas for who you are today and who you will become in the future? You should think about that as you are looking at each of your poems today. This guy is reading his poems and he's actually making these thoughts. I hope I can someday have that feeling as he is reading Oranges. As he was reading Hanging Fire, he was thinking, I guess that part of life is learning how to figure things out without someone helping me. And as he was reading Translating Grandfather's House, he may have been thinking, I sure can relate. Very often people think they know more about us than they do. They are often very wrong. And that comes from reading Translating Grandfather's House. So, as we go through today, you are going to work with your teacher on completing an evidence log. You've got instructions here, and your teacher will review these with you in small group. When you are working on your own today, you are going to want to go back through Translating Grandfather's House, Hanging Fire, and Oranges. You will go into each of those poems, ladies and gentlemen, and you will find examples of simile or metaphor, personification or allusion, and imagery. You will take your sticky notes in the Jamboard that you have been provided in your Google Classroom assignment, and you will type in the example for each of these figurative lessons or figurative devices. So you will go into each of these in a Jamboard. You will look for the lines in each of these stories and you will add them to your Jamboard. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we're going to do today. On your own, you're going to find examples. You're going to put them in the Jamboard. You're going to complete your evidence log with your teacher. And hopefully you will find that at the end of today's lesson, you are a little more in tune with connecting poetry to your life today, to your thoughts today, and to your future dreams and hopes. Have a great day and happy learning.